Okay, well, let's start, and I'll do a formal welcome to everybody. Thank you very much for being present today on our Wellbeing at Home event this evening. Big apologies about the cancellation last week. We were going to have the pelvic floor event, but the lady who was going to deliver it unfortunately got a virus, not the virus, but a virus. She lost her voice, so we've pended that, and that's going to happen on the 15th of Jan. So put that in your diaries. That's going to be a 10 a.m. one as well, so put that in your diaries if you are interested in the pelvic floor, which many of us ladies are, and some gentlemen too, I believe. So anyway, so that's happening then. And I hope you've all been well. You know, we've got more uncertainty, more fear and anxiety around. Certainly for my business, there's been more uncertainty this week, but we still have people traveling. Lots of people are actually going to Thailand. It seems to be a popular place right now, even with all the hoops and loops. I think there are some people who just have had enough and just said, I'm just going to go, I'm just going to do it. So they're doing it. So that's great. But today I think is a really good day to have Desi on. I want to introduce Desi to you. So Desi is actually a client. Well, she's the wife of one of our clients, and I had never actually I've got to tell everyone the story about Desi because I've never actually spoke to Desi before. I always spoke to Desi's daughter and Desi's husband, and we would arrange these lovely trips for them. And they love their well-being. They're really into their well-being, so they go to these great the whole family goes, which is quite rare, I've got to say. So the whole family goes and does these well-being escapes, but they also do some other lovely stays with us. And anyway, Desi's husband said, I'd like to introduce you to my wife. So when I was talking to Desi, I couldn't believe what a gem of a health guru she is.
Oh my.
No wonder the whole family's into this, because it's all come from the mother and the wife. I mean, it's incredible. So Desi started telling me all the things that she does, and I was in awe. So I've got to know Desi, and Desi's got a great bag of tricks up her sleeve on the holistic health.
Let me check them off.
You've got lots of little, I mean, things even I haven't heard before. I hadn't heard of, I'm going to say it now, so please forgive me if I get it wrong. Jin Shin Jyutsu. Is that correct?
Jin Shin Jyutsu.
Jin Shin Jyutsu. I should have.
It's a tongue bender, so it's okay.
Okay, I should have practiced it. Right, okay. Jin Shin Jyutsu. I'd never heard of that. I've been around in this world for a long time. I hadn't heard of it, so I was like, wow, what is this? So, and Desi's got lots more up her sleeve, but I'm not going to tell you all about that today. We'll save that for another time. But Desi calls herself, another thing I love about Desi, she calls herself a happiness coach. So, and if you get my emails, when I'm talking about health and happiness and well-being, for me is very much being healthy and happy. There are some people who are very, very into and strict about how they live their lives, but they're not very happy. So I always see that as kind of being a detriment to your overall well-being. You can really pay a lot of attention to how you live your life and have a healthy lifestyle, but happiness is such a big part of it. And we're as you know, we're so connected emotionally, mentally, physically. So happiness is a big part. So when I heard Desi called herself a happiness facilitator, I love that. She's like, I'm all about health and happiness. I was like, oh, come on in to the Wellbeing at Home crew. I love it. So Desi, it has been a pleasure getting to know you. But tell us how you became a happiness facilitator. What was all that about?
First, thank you for inviting me and for the lovely words. Yes, I call myself a happiness facilitator because I've learned in my life that happiness is a choice. we can choose to be happy, not because everything is okay in life, but we choose one aspect and keep it like a light at the end of the tunnel. And this is actually a motivator for us ourselves to be happy. And when one person in the family is happy, just raise out in the whole environment around you, among friends, among family, among your colleagues. So you actually become a magnet, you attract happiness, and you radiate out further down like an amplified way. How it all started is my husband was diagnosed a diabetic at the age of 30, which is quite early. And because I really believe in good food and healthy eating, so I started searching for ways to cook in a healthy way. And one thing led to another. I discovered this healing modality, which we are going to talk today about, the Jin Shin Jyutsu, through sending actually my husband to a session which I read about in a magazine. Had zero idea about energy before that time, absolutely no clue that I could become one of those people who can facilitate that. So when he came back, he was glowing, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen that for ages. You know, when we are stressed out, we have dull skin, we look tired and hangy. And he came back home and he was like, oh, glow. And I was like, I want to experience that too. And actually, the lady who did the session, when I asked for a session for myself, she's like, you know what? If you have 4 hours, come to me and I'll teach you how to do it. And I was like, me? How comes? So it turns out that this is a very easy to do modality, which you can do at any time, anywhere. And this is one of the things I have among my sleeves, and I shake it out every time I see a person in a kind of a distress or kind of like in doubts. So this is all how it started.
Oh, wow. Amazing. And it's just like serendipity that you met this woman and she invited you to come and do it. And then you did a course with her, right? So you did
exactly
a whole course. And then would you apply it to your husband?
I started applying it for myself, and within a month I felt different. I felt more energetic. I mean, at that time my children were very young, and if you have children, you know how it is. You become like a mullinex. All the time there is something to do and something to arrange. So I felt actually more energetic. I felt happier. My skin was glowy, and I was like, it definitely works. So I did the next level, which is becoming a therapist, and I started applying it to my family and my children. So they would say, can you do this abracadabra thing to me today? So from Jin Shin Jyutsu it became abracadabra.
Abracadabra is easier to say.
I think so too, yeah. So this is how it all started, and then the more you practice, the more confident you become, and the more you spread the word. And people, I mean, when I work with clients, I usually give them like a homework, do this for yourself the next few days, and then they see the result and they continue doing what is there for them.
Amazing. Amazing. So tell us a bit about Shin Jin Jyutsu. Did I say that correctly?
I'll just hold the book up for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an easy, I must say Japanese is not one of the languages I speak. So Jin Shin Jyutsu is actually a very old modality. It's been recorded in some of the books which are in the Imperial Palace in Japan before the Kojiki records even. So it is more of an age than 700 years AD. So before time, it was not that much in written, but it was passed by generation until in the 1900s, a Japanese doctor actually started practicing it on himself because he was very sick, and discovering that holding those locks, they call them energy locks or safety locks. So he discovered that his health was improving, and he promised that he's gonna spread this art and actually revitalize it in Japan and spread to the States as well later on. So the art is very innovative. I mean, if I ask any of you, are you okay? Can you show me that you're okay? Everybody will just do a shortcut and say, I'm fine. Exactly. And this is how in this art it goes, because this is the attitude of worry. So if you're worried, you're not going to show me that finger. If you want to be angry, I mean, I'm not going to show that particular finger, but internationally acknowledged is one particular finger that relates to anger. So the whole art is actually meant to stimulate the so-called energy locks of the body, which are 26 on the right and 26 on the left side. And if you look at it, it's like 52, which is the number of the weeks a year. We have 12 vital organ flows, which is the 12 months of the year. So kind of like very nature related is all that this art is about. By stimulating the flows or the attitudes, you actually help your body to recharge its own life force, We're not using anybody's energy. We are not relying on anybody's energy. It's just all we are doing is actually holding in a gentle way the hands upon the body or upon fingers, like switching on our own light. And when we are no longer stressed, when we are no longer like in this confused state, we become aware of ourselves, and then we can help ourselves. And this is all that Jin Shin Jyutsu stay for. Know myself to be able to help myself. And as I said, it's applied on a fully dressed body. So you can be sitting in the tube and hold the finger. You can feel tired and by thinking, oh, what do I do when I'm tired? You're gonna lean back and hold your fingers interlaced behind your neck or on top of your head. And these are all locks from Jin Shin Jyutsu. So when I said it's very Asian but very natural art, it is an art.
I mean, how similar are these energy locks to like meridian points? And is it similar to Chinese medicine? It sounds very similar to Chinese medicine.
It is very overlapping as well. Just in the meridians, if you go into the healing with the meridians, you have many more points which you can stimulate either with needles or with heat or with pressure. By those locks, I mean, one energetic lock is considered like the size of a tennis ball. So if I'm holding exactly here or here or here, I'm still stimulating this one particular lock. Yes, they are on the same lines as the meridians, but it's like a more of a simplified way.
Okay. And is that similar to what we call, well, in the yogic tradition, chakras?
It does not go exactly on the chakras itself, but there are, as I said, I mean, there are points on left and right side of the body, and if you want to touch the one point which is for this level, it's pretty much like your chakra.
Okay.
I mean, all these Asian things which come from Eastern cultures, they have this innate wisdom with them, and this is how they actually work, just in a maybe simplified or more complicated way. And this is one of the ones which are really simply applicable at any time, anywhere.
Okay, so are you going to show us how to do it, Desi?
If you allow me.
Yes, please. Let's
ready for some magic?
Yeah, let's start with some magic, everyone.
Okay.
Jin Shin Jyutsu magic. Yay, I got it right.
You did it. It's not easy, I must say. When I type it, I always have to think, is it a Y, is it a U? I have to really be myself very aware. So we're going to start with a simple thing, which is the finger flows. And when I say the finger flows, each finger carry an attitude for the daily life. So starting with the thumb, we already mentioned that this is the attitude of worry. So if you feel yourself worried throughout your day, and in these days with Corona, everybody is a bit worried, so gently hug your thumb. And when I say hug, I don't mean juice it out. It's just like if you would be touching a baby. And we're going to do it now only 5 breaths. Later on, please do it 5 minutes each finger. And it doesn't really matter for the beginning whether the fingers are this way or that way. And the hand doesn't have to be anywhere like in a tension. You can simply hold it upon your lap. I'm just going to keep my hand up so you can see it, but it can easily be on my lap, sitting and just chatting with a friend and holding my fingers. So we'll start with 5 breaths. Doesn't matter left or right. Listen to your body, whichever finger feels like, I want to go first, then go first. 5 breaths on the thumb. And what we are looking into actually while we hold the fingers or the energetic locks of the body, we are trying to listen to our own pulse. And when I say listen, it's just become aware. Each and every phalange is representing different organs. So when you listen to your pulse, you're going to find out that it feels different at the beginning of the finger and the end of the finger. So when you have the time, you hold for as long as needed in your body for that particular day until the pulsation is the same on each and every phalange of the finger. And when you think of breathing calmly, even though I'm talking, I'm still taking my calm breaths. I'm relaxing my hands, so there is no tension anywhere. All I want is just breathe in and breathe out calmly. And calmly means I allow my breath to become deeper, which impacts my nervous system and makes me calmer, happier and more content person in general. Some people will feel it faster, for another people will need longer. And again, as I said, it represents the energy of different organs. Depending on how tired your body is or how worried you were through the day, it might need a little bit more time or a little bit less time. So whoever had finished their 5 breaths, you can hold the other one while majority of people have finished. And as I said, I mean, later on you can hold 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or even longer, depending on what you need. You can close your eyes, you can stay with your eyes open, you can just gaze at the point somewhere far away, whatever makes you happy in that day at that time. And usually when we hold the fingers, we become quiet. And this is where you just understand that we become aware. And this is the key word in Jin Shin Jyutsu. The more I know about myself, easy it is to help myself. So if everybody is okay, thumbs up. This is something very similar to whatever you are showing to people. I'm okay. To know that you're really okay. If you need to, if you ever feel like, oh, I'm starting to shrug my shoulder, my breath is getting very shallow and not very fast, remind yourself, oh, it's thumb time. So that would be the attitude of worry. The second attitude is our pointer, and this is the finger which is representing the attitude of fear. And why, when we're fearful, point? Because it's easier to blame on somebody else than to deal with whatever is going inside. So when you go to the dentist or any situation where you know I'm a little bit fearful, simply hold your thumb, your pointer. And again, choose for yourself left or right side, this way or that way. Again, 5 breaths, just observe. And again, you might feel different texture of the 3 parts of your finger into the 3 phalange. And if you want to be very artistic, you can think, oh, does it feel like cotton? Is it jumpy? Is it dancing? Is it like a smooth river? And this is just the way you describe your own pulse, the way your own energy flows through the body. And again, choose for yourself, eyes closed, eyes open, sit comfortably, make yourself okay. If you want to change the finger, you can do it. If you choose, like I would like to hold this finger still more, you can always hold the opposite way around. The way we hold has an impact of the way the energy moves, whether we are pulling the energy up or allowing the energy to go down. But for the time being, just because it's a quick self-help, this is what we are doing, any way that suits you today. And then we're going to go to that angry finger. I mean, that finger doesn't need translation in any language. When you see it, you know that person is really angry. Oh, they're speaking French. So, not for the French language, but I mean as an expression. So, holding the middle finger help us to reduce anger. And when you think of it, we become angry very often when there is lack of communication. When you think like point of view is not coming through, your position is not stable, you are not in a place in your life where you feel like I really speak my truth and people listen and respect it, then you might start becoming angry a bit. If that starts feeling within, oh, there is a bit of anger, hold the middle finger and just breathe into it. Because the moment you become aware of something, you are able to deal with this so-called project. And in Jin Shin Jyutsu, we don't talk about problems, we talk about projects. Because we as a human being are very good project managers. Each and every one of us has achieved something in life. We've planned it, we achieved a goal, we knew the path, so this is what it is. I discovered there is some anger in my body. Oh, what do I want? I want less anger, more happiness. So this is my project. And we work through that until we get it. We achieve our goal. Again, letting go of the famous middle finger. Again, you can hold left and right hand. And then we are going to go to the ring finger. The ring finger holds the attitude of sadness. And if you think of it, beginning of ring finger and pinky, here is the beginning of our heart meridian. Because you asked me whether it represents in a way the meridians. Yes, it does. So holding the ring finger, engagement rings, wedding rings are usually onto that finger. And this is like to stimulate the heart energy, the happy energy, the love in the body. So instead of being sad, the opposite of sad would be love again. So holding the ring finger, left or right hand, this or that way, will remind us that there is love in our life. And love has in so many shapes, so many colors. We love our family, friends, our pets, nature, sun, a lot of things, good food. So when you think of it, love is represented in every breath we take. Sometimes we just are rushing through life. It's like, oh, there is not this. But there is love everywhere. Never mind in which direction you look. Yeah, I love the smiles which I see on some faces. Yeah, love is everywhere. And again, you can choose to hold the other hand as well. Doesn't matter which hand you're choosing to start with. Your body will guide you to what you need. We'll be moving to the pinky, and the pinky holds the attitude of false pretense. You know, when you go to your job, your neighbors, your supermarket, or wherever, somebody will ask you, how are you today? They don't really care how you are doing. You don't care what answer you're gonna give, but you're smiling outside. Yes, I'm good. Inside is like, ugh. So exactly, that's the finger we hold. And if you think of the queen, she has to present herself always like everything is good. And this is the way she'll drink her tea. It's all these false pretenses. So let's hold the small finger or the pinky and just see. Think for yourself, what did you do today that was connected with that finger? Did you answer to somebody, I'm fine, and actually were not? Did you ask somebody without really caring how they are, just because it's a polite sentence we say? And this is the finger we can hold throughout the day whenever we feel like we are going away from our core, from what makes us happy, content, and centered. So if you have a job which is connected with other people, make sure you hold that finger anytime you feel like you're smiling for no reason, but actually you're not really happy. Just to be reminded, what makes me happy? What am I really experiencing at the moment? Am I truthful to myself? So we have the worry, the fear, the anger, the sadness, and the false pretense. If you only take this from today and do it for one whole month, holding your fingers for 5 minutes each a day, and you don't have to hold all together. You can be in the morning busy too much, but then you sit in the tube and you hold your thumb, reach to the job, whatever, lunch break, you hold another finger. Throughout the day, the longer you train yourself to hold your fingers, less and less negative attitudes will be attached to your life. More and more you will swing towards happiness and love. So these are our finger flows or finger attitudes. Coming to the awareness, coming to I know myself, I know what's going on with me, from the 60,000 thoughts which I have in my head every day. What is the quality of those thoughts? What do I want to keep from those guests in my head, and what I would rather invite to leave my head? Think of your fingers, hold whichever is okay for you to hold throughout the day. Any questions?
Yeah, I was going to ask if anyone wants to ask any questions at this point. I've got a question. So you don't have to do all the fingers every day. You just focus on what it is that is concerning you at that point in time, and you do. And to get the best effects, it's 5 minutes on each finger.
Well, I say 5 minutes because 5 minutes is about plus minus 30 breaths.
30 breaths. But actually, breaths is a better way of saying it, I think, because then you're actually mindful while you're doing it, because you're concentrating on
I'll come to those breaths which are very beneficial to do as well, because as I said, I want whoever is available today in this session to take something with them throughout the days. So when I say 36 breaths, we're coming to the next point which I want us all to do together, and for that we're going to use the fingers, the 4 fingers. I'll just move the screen a bit lower, so it's more or less we hug our breasts.
Hang on 1 second, we've got some questions.
Oh yeah, go ahead, please go ahead.
Hang on. Elodie says, can you say more about the way you hold the fingers, increase and decrease the energy?
Okay.
Down and up, right?
I'll explain. The energy, according to Jin Shin Jyutsu, moves upwards the back side of the body, reaches the top of the head, and moves down the front side of the body. And if you think of it, take a deep breath in, you will lift because your spine lengthens. When I say take a deep breath out, this is the natural flow of the energy. So when we do fingers pointing up, we are pulling the energy up. When we do the fingers down, we are pushing the energy down. When I said do whatever feels for you right, your body, the intuition within, and the deep wisdom will know whether you need to pull the energy, take deeper breaths and lengthen the body, or exhale and then allow this nervous system to cool down. Does it answer the question?
That's a really good answer, yeah. Jane says,
I like that.
if you feel one finger pulsing more, is that showing you that you need to focus on this finger more? That's a really good question.
That's a good question. So as I said, each and every phalange is an organ. So our body is so super smart. Even though
what you're saying, each and every phalange.
Phalange is a part of the finger. This is one phalange, 2, 3.
Okay.
So the part of the fingers.
Okay.
So because our body is super smart, if one of the organs is a bit tired or abused, I mean, if we drink excessively, obviously the liver is gonna be like, so all the other organs in the system are gonna carry the energy to keep the body moving. So if one phalange is too quiet, or one part of the finger is too quiet, that's why I said we stay for longer until we feel it's the same music that they're singing for us. So
she's saying the other.
I'm coming to that. If one of them is too quiet and the other finger is too loud, you can hold each of them, whichever feels better for you, because the quiet one means maybe it's not the time for this organ to be active. I mean, your lungs are in the highest activity 4 to 6 o'clock in the morning. This is why people get up for meditation, they go for a walk or whatever. The ions, the iodine, whatever from sea is coming to us in a better shape. So if your lungs are a bit more passive throughout the afternoon, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just another organ that's more active, which will be your stomach digesting your lunch.
Interesting. Okay.
So every 2 hours, a particular organ is carrying vital function for us in a more intense way to keep this beautiful balance rolling. So you choose for yourself again whether it's the loud one you want to talk to or the quiet one. There is nothing wrong. If you start learning to listen to your body, you will know which is the finger that needs the attention. At the end of holding the 5 fingers, you'll have the same flow of energy. So your body will be, okay, now I'm at peace, I'm at balance.
So go with your intuition on that, what your body needs. Okay, does clasping your hands, holding your own hand, so holding all fingers together at the same time, do the same thing? I don't know what you mean, Diane, there exactly. Diane, do you want to speak and tell us what you mean? Never mind.
Clasping the finger, it's a gentle touch. I mean, if sometimes it feels like complicated to hold, you can just hold this way. A touch. It doesn't really mean, but when you hug, you have the chance to become more aware of the texture that goes through the body. Because if it's one finger, my own finger will have its pulse by one itself. So putting it on the other one, it's going to be like a bit of like, what am I hearing at the moment? What am I feeling? Having all the fingers like putting a coat around the finger.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
Okay. So the next is called the 36 divine breaths. And as I said, in Jin Shin Jyutsu, very often we have these numbers going together, like 26 locks is ending on an 8, which is the way the energy moves also in the body. It's like infinity. It's never ending, never stopping. Energy is always transforming in some other form. So the 36 breaths, if you think of it, combine them together makes a number 9. And number 9 is the way the embryo is in the womb of the mom. The number 9 is an ending of a cycle, energetic cycle, thought cycle. So when we hold those 36 breaths, we allow the body to kind of restart and reboot. For holding the 36 breaths, we're using the 4 fingers, putting them into the armpits. And if you think of it logically, it's 4 fingers under the crease of the armpit. So this is the level, and the thumb will be on the level of our physical heart. So holding both and relaxing the shoulders. This is the most important part of it. Drop your shoulders before you start. Then the thumbs are on the level of our heart. When you were talking about chakras or meridians, these are points from the heart meridian. So taking 36 breaths, we count for ourselves, thinking the breath starts from the heels, moves the back side of the body, reaches the top of the head, and goes all the way down to the big toe. And this takes about 5 to 7 minutes, depending in average of a human being's length of breath. I mean, if you're very stressed out, it's going to be maybe just 3 minutes. But if you're in an average state, it's going to be about 5 minutes. So let's do it. And I'll look about maybe 7 minutes. So everybody will have the chance to have their 36 breaths. And as you Stella said at the beginning, counting the breaths is a form of meditation. So it helps horrifically a lot to stay in the moment and be aware. Feel free again to close your eyes. I'll remain quiet so everybody can count for themselves. In and exhale is counted as one breath. So we have 36 in and 36 exhales. Just to chip in, if you start yawning, this is a very good sign, because when the energy moves, you're releasing while holding. Without any rush, take your 36 breaths. As I said, we all have different lengths and depths of breath. Just wait patiently for everybody else to finish. I'm happy to see people yawning. Because when the energy moves, think of it by exhaling or by crying. Sometimes tears fall off from the eyes. So this is any form of release that you experience. Is your body is like, oh, finally I can let go of it. If everybody had finished with the 36 breaths, any questions?
Any questions, anyone? I'm pleased you said the thing about the yawning. I couldn't stop yawning.
That's an amazing thing.
Yeah, I've done that with you before, so I know that triggers yawning, and also the tears in the eyes. It's just that release. Did anyone else feel that yawning or yeah?
Good.
In the eyes, yeah.
Before we do anything else, tap on your shoulders. Well done. Thank your body for helping you to release something that you no longer needed today. Because very often we are rushing. Just take a breath and say, yes, well done.
So this is a nice interlude throughout the day, or is this a good one before you go to bed? I think this like really brings it down, doesn't it? Or in the morning? When's the best time to do that?
Well, to be very honest, the next flow which I wanted to do is the main central, and I find it as an amazing combination. If you do alternative, one time you do the 36 breaths and one time you do the main central, because it's either releasing. If you do it early in the morning, you'll start your day in a calm, happy way, because you spend with yourself good 5 to 7 minutes just allowing your body to recharge and open up slowly and be ready for the day. If you do it at the end of the day, it's like, oh, let go of the stress of the day. Now I'm home. Now I came home to my body as well. So it's again, you'll choose for yourself what resonates with you. On some days you'll feel I need energy in the morning, so I'm not gonna be doing these calming 36 breaths. I'm just gonna be maybe rushing. On the next day, it's like, oh, I have 1 hour time before I start with anything. So let me just give myself this nice slow start. As I said, it's a very intuitive art. I mean, I know it's a modality, but it's a very artistic modality. It allows you to go with what your needs are at that moment.
And this was, just to remind us again, this was to do with the heart meridian and the heart chakra.
Exactly.
So
because when we are connecting with our hearts, I mean, we think of love, we resonate with love. I mean, we know the vibration of love is the highest from everything. So if anywhere in the body, when I say the release is welcome, if there is any disturbance in the balance of the body, by bringing it to the vibration of love, we actually pull away or push away sicknesses, diseases and discomforts in the body. That's why I said, congratulate yourself, well done, your body was allowed to kick out what is no longer needed.
Wonderful.
So shall we move to the next one? Okay, the next one is called the main central, and the main central, because you are asking about the meridians, goes pretty much with one of the very big meridians in the body. So if we're thinking of how we practice it, for the main central, we're gonna need the right hand on top of the head. I mean, when you think where on the top of the head, find the middle point. I mean, by some people it's gonna be like a bit of flat place. For other people, maybe pointy. Whatever that the point is, when you put your hand and it feels comfortable, you know that's the spot. So the left hand is gonna move alongside the body until we reach down and then have to shift the right one. Throughout the whole flow, the right hand stays on top of the head. And we're gonna start with touching the forehead, which is your third eye chakra, or some of the points which are related with meridians going across the eyebrow line. So again, now we're gonna do only 5 breaths. Later on, feel free to do it whenever, as long as you desire. Take a few nice breaths, and I mean, again, sit comfortably, lean your shoulders, lean your body, and as I said, you can do it early in the morning in your bed, so you have all the pillows and the support you need. What we do by balancing the point at the forehead, you're actually stimulating energy of your eyes, ears, nose, your taste, and your gum and your teeth. So you're actually stimulating everything that's related with your head. Again, if your body needs to yawn, cry, fart, sneeze, whatever, just embrace it. The second point would be either the tip of the nose or the space under the nose. So choose for yourself whether you want to hold your nose or under the nose. It's all, as I explained, the locks are tennis ball size, so it's all good. The next point would be between the two bones on the clavicles. Again, whether you're holding this way or just straight in between the space, we're all a little bit different, so find your comfortable spot. Then we're going to turn the fingers and place them on the level of the heart. Again, heart chakra, heart energy, emotions, lungs, stimulating the immune system, lymphatic system. Once we have done that, we're going to go to the space where the rib cage comes together to the base of the sternum or the level of the stomach. Right hand is still on the top of the head. The left hand had moved to the level of the stomach. And once you place your hand here, you're immediately going to feel like a release and warmth, because this is where you stimulate the vital parts of the body, and the warmth of your palm is like heater, more or less, for them. Once you complete that, think of where is your navel, 4 fingers under the navel, and it's usually on the level for women on the womb. Again, we are holding for 5 breaths. Later on you can hold for longer. Remind yourself to drop your shoulders, to breathe out calmly. Once you've completed 5 breaths with the hand, 4 fingers under the navel, we are going to go to the pubic bone with the left hand, and this is the point where the right hand goes and sandwich the body onto the tailbone. So we are physically holding front and back side of the body like in a mini sandwich. And again, hold for 5 breaths. Thinking of the chakras or the organs, we are stimulating here the kidneys, large, small intestine, bladder. That's why it's called the main central. Stimulates all the vital organs of the body. And once you feel you have enough, just release your hands. Before I ask if there is any questions, using the body intelligence, you do not need to hold all the points. Starting just the beginning of the flow will give the body the invitation, I want you to stimulate the whole entire flow. whether you're holding all the finger, one finger, your body knows, oh, the light is switched on, let's move it in the right way. So any questions here?
Anybody got any questions? No? I think everyone's so calm, relaxed.
Again, remind yourself, tap on your shoulder physically or mentally. Thank yourself for doing this today.
It's really funny. I feel like the energy's just really calmed down. It's really interesting. Probably my energy's really calmed down. So,
no, it's the natural thing. And
Hallie's got something. Hallie. Yes.
Thanks, Stella. I just wanted to ask.
Oops.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask. So the one that's how was it, like that? Yeah. So if I wanted to sort of because I normally when I wake up in the morning, it's kind of, oh my goodness, it's morning. I need to calm down. If I want to have myself a little routine, would it be a good idea to do this one first?
Absolutely.
And then maybe some of these ones.
If you're one of those people who are highly energetic in the morning, doing the 36 breaths is definitely a good way to calm and be more like a slow on the beginning of the day and more balanced.
Right. And when is this one good for then?
This is also, I mean, this is called the main central, or it's actually energizing or revitalizing the source of life. So this is when you need the energy to flow.
Right.
When you need to be centered, when you need to sort your thoughts, when you really are like, I would like either to do it early in the morning, so I know I'm in my core, I'm aware of my body, I know what I have to do, plan it properly, or at the end of the day, like I'm bringing myself, like I'm arriving home. So let me bring everything in, sort my thoughts, clear my mind, breathe out, relax my stomach, relax my lower body, release any tension from the lower back, because this is when you sandwich your hands.
And is it at all possible for you to send us a little message?
Yes,
which ones?
I could do that. If Stella wishes, she can. I can send her like a document, and she can send it to you.
Wonderful.
Because it's really good, a reminder to have it later on. I know, until it becomes part of you and you start doing it like in such a natural way that you don't think anymore.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
There's a question. Could you just show us again the pelvic, the one at the pubic bone and the sandwich?
Okay. I'll stand up so we can see. I hope you can see. So this is the pubic bone. The left hand goes to the pubic bone, the right hand goes onto the tailbone. When you think, if you touch, this is the tailbone, which is the furthest down bone part of your spine. So you're reaching to the pubic bone, which is also a hard part of the body, to the hard part on the back. And this is how we sandwich. It's almost like having an ice cream sandwich.
I like how you bring it all back to food always, Desi. It's great. Can I just say that that one, the central,
main central,
made me feel energized and clear. Like that had an immediate effect on me. This one was a release, and it made me feel really relaxed. Mm-hmm. Like I'm sure everyone's different. I mean, for me, this is the kind of thing I would do before I go to bed, and then the other one would, I think, would personally suit me in the morning. But as you say, it's so individual, right?
Yeah. As I said, depending on what your body needs. I mean, you can do the main central and find yourself calm and like zoom down, and you can be in the morning. It's like, yeah, I need it, and let's get the energy up.
Yeah.
Energy follows your thoughts and your intentions. That's why when you start doing something, it's good to be aware, to put your intentions, I'm wishing for, I'm looking for, and then you will achieve it because your mind had imagined it.
Yeah. Yeah.
On my side, I would like to finish with a self-hug. I'm going to pull it down. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure each and every one of us has done that. And this is on a very subconscious level when you are sitting with people who are not exactly very loving to you, or maybe with colleagues and there is this competition in the atmosphere or somewhere, and you feel like, oh, I want to hold my hands, and maybe more often you're doing it this way, which is exactly the same like energetically holding these locks on the side of the arms. And I want, while we're holding in a self-hug, whether this way or that way, please find your own way, whatever makes you happy today, to remind yourself of 5 things you love about yourself. If you need to close your eyes and remind yourself what exactly you love in yourself. What are you proud of? Could be something in your outlook, it could be some achievements, some of your unique personal qualities. And then I want you to think of 5 qualities that people around you in your life love in you. Things that you hear very often from your beloved ones, from colleagues, friends, or anybody that is in your life. And for the next 5 breaths, I want you to send an attitude of gratitude, being grateful that you are who you are, the way you are. Because you've already proven yourself that you're lovable, you're worthy, and they're good enough.
Oh, lovely. How lovely is that?
I'm grateful for the opportunity. Any questions, anything, please let me know. I mean, I'll prepare a small document and send it to Stella so she can share it with all of you.
I have a question. I mean, firstly, thank you for that closing. Thank you for the whole session. It was it's so simple yet so effective. It's perfect.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. And I think that closing part, we can be so hard on ourselves, can't we? You know, we can keep telling ourselves what we need to do and what we're not good at, and we forget what we are, what we do. Do and what we, you know, and the effect that we have on other people. So that's just such a lovely exercise to be able to do, as you know, in combination with that feeling. And I love that, you know, like if you're in an environment where you say you're not feeling like it's a loving environment, or in quite a hostile environment, it's so discreet, isn't it? Like you could just do this and feel, you know, just kind of feel loved by yourself.
Cocoon yourself in love.
Perfect. You know, I always say it's about love. For me, it's very simple. It's love or fear. Fear leads to all kinds of action
Diseases.
and diseases and so many things. But when you come back to love, it's just, you know, it brings you to a state of wholeness, and it's a beautiful place to be. Now, I have a question about. I was reading about the Jin Shin Jyutsu.
Well done.
Taken me a whole hour to get there, but I've got there. And I was reading that it actually, there are studies around how it's helped people who are cancer sufferers, and it also helps people deal with the side effects of medication and cancer treatment. So, I mean, I think where I'm going with this, I think you've given us just a little part of it today in terms of self-help and what we can do with ourselves. But I think it's a much bigger, more powerful practice, right?
It is very deep going practice, and as I said, if you just commit for 1 month not to do anything else, just to hold your fingers, you're gonna discover wonders in yourself, because it rebalances, reboots and re-energizes the entire system. And if you're talking about cancer, very often cancer is based on negative thought patterns. I mean, I'm not saying that we are meant to be happy every day, every moment, but very often once spiraling down in the negative thought patterns, the body starts really giving up on us because it's too much of this negativity or stress or lack of proper food, which is our fuel. And then yes, cancer is not exactly the place where we can say, oh, I'm just skipping everything. But if you start doing this, I'm not saying it's going to be a cure, because I'm not a doctor, I'm just a therapist. You can definitely have a very positive impact on yourself or a person who has that, even after treatments, even after radiation. Because as I said, I mean, we're just sitting and yawning, the body's going to start releasing, and releasing might be going more often to the bathroom, sweating it out, even smelling your skin. It's going to be different smell than your usual, because you're detoxifying.
Which is fascinating how these ancient practices are so powerful, and yet we have to run empirical studies to prove to ourselves nowadays that these things work. Well, we know that they work, you know, just from our own how we feel ourselves. It's very interesting. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm privileged that you allow me to be on board today. Thank you so much.
It's so nice. And you're going to come again and give us some other tricks.
And give the other tricks from the sleeves, no problem.
And Desi can actually run courses on this. We've been discussing it, like if anyone wanted to get deeper into it, or she also can give treatments if you want someone else to do it, because you can give this to somebody as well, right? So like, for example, like if you that's a question I have. If you have one of your children or your spouse or whoever, you know, a friend who is feeling like that, would you say that you could put the lock on them, or do they have to do it themselves?
Well, to be honest, when you do the full course, there are 3 books for self-help alone. So you can, if you know that, you can ask them to do it. Because as a therapy, to give it on somebody else, it's a little bit different approach.
Oh, it's a different approach. Okay.
You
can give it as a therapy as well as to yourself.
I mean, I don't teach to become a therapist, because it's an official course that has to be done over 3 years to be certified for that. I mean, 3 different courses, usually it's once a year. But as a self-help, if you do it, you can absolutely share your knowledge with anybody else. I mean, even today, whatever you've learned, share with anybody around you. Spread the love and spread the good vibes.
Yeah, perfect. We'll leave on those wise words. Spread the love and spread the good vibes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Desi. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Stay safe, everybody. No worries. Thumbs up. And big hearts for everybody. Have a lovely evening. Honestly, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stella. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone, for coming along. It's